Good morning students, Saira. This is the last chapter of EVS 1, that is chapter number 24, Are we endangering our environment? Children, in this chapter we are going to see how our human beings, that is we are human beings, are harming the environment, are harming the nature. What are the ways they are harming or destroying the environment, that we are going to see in this chapter, and what are the ways to stop these things, that the human beings will understand that environment is very important for us, and if environment is in danger or environment is harmful, what are the causes or what are the effects that human beings have to face, that we are going to see in today's chapter. So let us start. This is a picture which you can see on the screen is of a beautiful park. You can see children enjoying in the park. Some children are on the swing, some are cycling, some are playing with the ball. One boy is trying to take out his boat which is got stuck in the middle of the water, and some are playing with dogs, some are playing with cats, some are just sitting and talking with their friends. So a very relaxing picture and a very beautiful picture you can see on the screen, with lot of trees, beautiful colorful flowers are there in the park. And now look at this picture. This is a picture of tall buildings, that are skyscrapers, towers, okay, and it is built on the same park. So what have people done? People have destroyed this beauty of this park, and they have built this skyscrapers in the place of this beautiful park. So what are we doing? We are becoming selfish, and we have become selfish. That is, for our selfish needs we are destroying the environment, we are harming the environment, we are polluting the environment to fulfill our selfish needs. So a park which was there has now become into a place where tall buildings, huge skyscrapers are there without any beauty there. Can you see any trees there? Can you see any park there? So not even a small area has been left for greenery there. You can only see buildings and buildings. You cannot see anything about nature there. So this is called endangering our environment. And who are responsible for it? Human beings are responsible for doing that. Now 20 years ago, as I showed you the picture of a park, there were open fields around the city. Today, there are new colonies there. There was a big spreading tree near the railway gate. Different kinds of birds and insects lived happily in that tree. Yes, so trees are home or house of birds and insects. Different kinds of birds, animals and insects live on the trees. But now, as the trees are only not there, the animals, birds and insects have become homeless. They have become homeless. Where have those birds and insects gone today? A very simple example I will give you of sparrow. Sparrow is a small bird which you must have seen very. Nowadays we hardly see any sparrow. Very few sparrows are seen, or 1 or 2 sparrows are seen in a day. That is because sparrows are, they are scared or they die because of the mobiles network wires which are situated in places and places above the road, or you can say high in the sky. There are wires wherein the sparrows are affected because of these mobile networks, and that is why the sparrows are dying and their numbers are becoming less. So we can hardly see sparrows now. Okay, crows we can see, but sparrows, because of this reason we cannot see the sparrows. Okay, so we are endangering our environment. And what is the progress by endangering the environment? What progress has man made is, man is more intelligent than all other animals. He makes use of his intelligence to make his life more comfortable. As I told you, for selfish needs, if you small open spaces there with grass and trees, okay, but that is destroyed and a shopping mall is made in place of that. So what are we doing? We are looking more for our comfort than we are thinking about nature. He makes use of his intelligence to make his life more comfortable. Living things make use what they find in their environment, but only men can carefully study the things in the environment. He produces new things from materials in the environment. Yes. For example, wood. What do? We cut the wood and we make furniture out of it, and we make many decorative articles also out of it, and then we sell it in the market. So man uses his intelligence to renovate the things which we get from the nature into more, and sell it at a higher cost. So we are destroying the environment. Wood is obtained from trees. If trees are cut down, then only we'll get wood, and if wood is there, then only we'll use the furniture in the house. So whatever furniture you can see in the house, suppose a wooden chair, a wooden table, a wooden cupboard, that all things are made from wood, and that is tree. We have destroyed some trees and we have made things out of that. So this is again that we are harming the environment, we are destroying the environment. This is a story of about 150 years ago. Researchers found out how to use mineral oil. Man now had a new and useful fuel to use. He then invented some vehicles that would run on this new fuel. So first mineral oil was found about 150 years ago, and when mineral oil came into use, then man started inventing vehicles which could run on this fuel. These include the motor car, bus, truck and scooter. They also developed railway engines that would run on coal. So again, what did man do? Man used his intelligence. Man used his brain. Man used his intelligence, and he created something new from the things which are available in the nature. So man is progressing at every step. That is a very good thing. But without thinking about the environment and without thinking about the nature, that is a bad thing. We can use our intelligence, we can do a lot of things, but we should always keep in mind that we are not harming the environment. We should think twice before doing any inventions or progress. There are other ways, the ways are difficult, that without using the environment or without harming the environment, we can do things. It will take a lot of time, but man needs to keep patience for that. But we are always in a hurry and we want the things to go very fast, so we don't think. Okay. Previously, if one had to travel to another town, one had to walk or ride horseback or on bullock cart. Yes, the only transport mode was bullock cart in the earlier days, that is in the olden days, or on the horseback or walking. Okay, that was the way. But various animals were used to carry burdens or to draw the carts. Now we can go by bus or railway trains that help us to save both time and labor. In olden days, from one village to another village, if man used to travel by bullock cart, he used to take maybe 4, 5 or 1 week. But now with the use of these modern means of transport, that is railway trains, aeroplanes are there, ships are there, bus are there, we can reach within a day. So this is progress made by human beings according to the change in time. So what did it do? It saved our time also, and it saved our effort also. See, this is scooter, which is nowadays used for traveling from one place to another. This is a bullock cart which was used in previous days, olden days. Now you can see bullock carts only in villages. Okay, the farmer uses a bullock cart to transport, to take his goods from the field to the market area. And this is a bus which you can find in cities. Okay, you must have all traveled in a bus. So these are the changes and progress made by man along with change in time. Now another factor is growth of the population. Now if you compare village and city, a village population is less than a city. Village people are migrating to cities and towns for the purpose of jobs or education. Okay, and in the last 60 years, the population of our country has tripled, not doubled, but it has tripled. and it is still growing, it is still increasing. So the demand for all those things that we need to take from the environment has increased many times over. So if the population has tripled, the needs of the man, wants of a person are never ending. Okay, we always, when we suppose today if we take a new watch, tomorrow when we see our friend's watch which is of latest brand and something very new, we will have a desire to get that watch, and the watch which we have bought just one day before will become old for us. Even we will not think of using it also, because we have focused that I want that watch which my friend has. So man's desire is increasing, man's desire is increasing day by day, and the things which are available in the nature are limited. See, to cut down a tree it takes less than half an hour or 15 minutes, but to grow a tree it takes many years, many years, not 1 or 2 or 3 years, 15, 20, 25, 50 years to grow a tree, but to cut down a tree it takes less than 15 minutes. Okay, so we have to use the things which are available in nature in a limited way, or how much we want that much only we should use. We should not overuse it, we should not waste it, and this is the way we can keep the environment we can keep the environment balanced. Otherwise what will happen if we use the resources available in the nature as we want and with wasting, then these resources will get over one day, and to get these resources back we have to wait for many years. So people could not get, why people migrated from villages to cities? Because they could not get employment in villages, they could not find jobs in villages, so they began to leave and to go to cities in search of work. Cities became crowded, it became overcrowded, and the population in the city grew beyond limits. Cities began to experience a shortage of water. Okay, shortage of water, shortage of electricity. So all these problems started arising when population became more and more, increased more and more. You can see in a small room there are 10 to 15 people staying together. What is this? This is because of overcrowded population. People are facing all these problems. Some people in the cities are not getting water, they are hardly getting water. In a day they are getting for 1 hour. In that 1 hour they have to do all the work, they have to fill drinking water, everything. So these are the problems which arises slowly when there is no place and we are depleting the resources which are available in the nature. There were not enough houses for everybody, so we can see people staying on the footpaths, under the bridges. Okay, so we can see these poor people because they don't have houses to stay, they don't have money to buy it. So people could not find a place to stay. There used to be open spaces and field around the cities. Now new colonies came up there, and to build these new houses and colonies the trees has to be cut down. So buildings wherever, now even the place which we are staying in was someday, very in olden days, very few years and many years back, it was a open ground, or it can be a garden, it can be a park, wherever your house is there. So what we have done, we have destroyed it, we have cut down the trees in that area, and then we have set up a house for our own. So children, what we saw today, we saw that man is harming and polluting the environment to fulfill his selfish needs, and this is not good, this is not right what we are doing. We should immediately stop, or we should reduce the use of these things. We should use the natural resources limited, and then only we can have a balanced environmental balance will be there, and our environment will not the resources in the environment, the trees, whatever, mineral oil, coal, natural gas, these all things are available in nature, but they are in limited quantity, and if we use them unlimited without taking care of it, then soon we will have a shortage of these natural resources, and then we will face a major problem. So that is why children, try to understand how important the environment is for us. Okay, so always think twice while harming the environment, and always think about the nature around you first. Okay children, thank you children for listening to this video carefully. I hope you have understood today's video. Goodbye and take care.